Welcome to Waiting to Roar TV, your trusted source for breaking news, politics, and the latest updates from Edo State and beyond. Here we keep you informed with accurate reports and in-depth analysis you can rely on. Tension is currently brewing in Edo State as the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the Edo State House of Assembly appear to be on a collision course over the planned inauguration of a caretaker committee to oversee the affairs of the NLC state chapter. The crisis stems from a leadership tussle in the Edo State chapter of the NLC. On Wednesday, the State House of Assembly, during its plenary session, strongly opposed the decision of the national leadership of the NLC to dissolve the existing State Executive Council and inaugurate a caretaker committee. The Assembly argued that the move was politically motivated and could endanger the peace and stability of the state's labor community. According to the lawmakers, the decision by the national president of the NLC, Joe Ajaero, to impose a new leadership structure on the state chapter would not only destabilize the union but also create tension among workers in Edo. They expressed support for the leadership of Bernard Eguakhide, who is currently recognized as the leader of the union in the state. The majority leader of the House, Jonathan Ibamawu, who raised the motion that led to the Assembly's resolution, noted that under the leadership of Bernard Eguakhide, the labor community in Edo has been harmonious and devoid of strife. He warned that Ajaero's insistence on changing the leadership could ignite unrest among workers. Other lawmakers echoed his concern, insisting that the Assembly must act in the interest of peace and harmony in the state. The Assembly further accused the national NLC leadership of aligning with the former state chairman, Odion Olaye. Olaye, they alleged, openly displayed partisanship during the last governorship election, where he was quoted as saying that if the People's Democratic Party, PDP, failed to win, the state would be set ablaze. The lawmakers stressed that such a figure should not be allowed to return to a position of influence in the Edo NLC. As part of its resolution, the Assembly called on the national leadership of the NLC to immediately shelve its planned inauguration of the caretaker committee, describing the move as an attempt to undermine the existing peace within the state's labor movement. However, in a sharp response, the national leadership of the NLC insisted that the Edo Executive Council had been legitimately dissolved in line with labor law and global best practices. In a statement signed by the acting National Secretary of the Congress, Benson Upa, the union accused the Edo State government of attempting to frustrate its decision by withholding the keys to the state secretariat in Benin City. Upa explained that the dissolution of the Edo NLC executive followed a series of consultations involving the Congress, the Honorable Minister of Labor and Employment, Dr. Muhammad Maigari Dingyadi, and other stakeholders. He noted that the Congress had no option but to set up a caretaker committee to manage the affairs of the State Council until fresh elections were held. The statement further revealed that during a meeting with Edo State Governor, Senator Monde Okpebholo, the governor had openly declared his intention to work with Odion Olaye as chairman of the Edo NLC. According to the NLC, this confirmed the political interference that necessitated the dissolution. The national leadership also alleged that members of the caretaker committee, alongside those assigned to inaugurate them, had received threats in recent days, raising fears of a potential breakdown of law and order if the situation is not carefully managed. The inauguration of the Caretaker Committee has been scheduled for Thursday, August 28, 2025, in Benin City. Despite the opposition from the Edo Assembly and the state government, the NLC has vowed to go ahead with the process, arguing that it is the only way to restore credibility and neutrality to the union's leadership in Edo. As it stands, the situation has created an atmosphere of uncertainty among workers in the state, many of whom are worried about how the leadership tussle could affect labor unity, negotiations, and workers' welfare in the coming months. The Edo labor crisis has now become a test case for how much influence state governments should wield in the affairs of unions, and whether the national leadership of the NLC can enforce its decisions without political interference. With both sides refusing to back down, all eyes are on Benin City as the clock ticks toward the scheduled inauguration of the Caretaker Committee. Workers, lawmakers, and union leaders are watching closely to see whether Thursday will mark a peaceful transition or the beginning of a prolonged labor crisis in Edo State. Thank you for watching Waiting to Roar TV. Stay ahead of the news by subscribing, turning on notifications, and sharing this video. Join the conversation in the comments because your voice matters in shaping Nigeria's future.